Let's talk about fear. That's a big topic that I see in a lot of posts and a lot of people talking how to reprogram your mind to get rid of it and how to do all these things so that you don't have to experience it. Many forms of it, right? So one thing is certain. Fear is fucking perfect. It's a perfect trait, value, emotion, whatever you want to call it, feeling. It's perfect. It's here. It's for us. It's experienced by 100% of us. That means it's perfect. As perfect as sweating, as perfect as death, as perfect as birth, as perfect as a pimple, a tumor, as perfect as swelling, as perfect as a reflex. It's perfect. Okay. So because it's perfect, it's for us. But when can something like that appear like it gets in the way? Like persistent symptoms seem to get in the way, like a persistent sense of slowing, a persistent limp, a persistent pain, a persistent, expression, whether it's a lean or a tilt or something, a persistent inability to digest fucking fruit. It's what should be here as a healthy guide, and then what absolutely can't exist from a fear standpoint. Fear of your body. That's what I want to go into, because all levels of medicine, you go traditional side, okay, your body gets sick and diseased, and then you need a medication or drug to fix that sickness or disease. Then alternative came out thousands of years ago on up to now, to where it's your body's sick and diseased, this is how you test it, this is how you identify it. But instead of using the dangerous medications and drugs, now we're going to use these alternative forms like chiropractic and energy work and supplements and herbs and therapies and gadgets and lasers and body work and rolfing and tinctures and peptides and stem cells and blah, blah, blah. Or we could go even so far now that people are kind of catching on to that, and it's like, well, let's use sunlight and food and movement and sleep and breath work and meditation. Okay, but you're still coming from the place of you're sick and diseased and ill and you have tests for it and it shows it by this and you have to fix it. That whole premise has you literally sitting there waiting, and when a symptom shows up, oh fuck, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Oh God, my body. Oh God. And then you just start shitting all over yourself and you don't know which way is up. You are in the alternative style. You're probably a practitioner of some kind, or you've been doing this natural way of life. Only now, holy shit, you don't have any idea. And it perpetuates this fear of our bodies, this fear that our bodies will turn against us, this fear that the symptoms of healing are to keep you imprisoned in your home and keep you from enjoying things like food, and to keep you from enjoying things like play and travel and love, and to keep you from enjoying things. That's what it's about. It's keeping you. It's so wrong. Your mind and body are so fucked up and they don't like each other, and they're all these stories around, holy shit, I don't know how anybody leaves their home with what's being pitched in all of medicine, with what's being sold, with what's being told. It literally is this, wait, when you feel something, something's wrong with you. When you feel something, that's a stray from the natural processes. Because the alternative, natural, holistic side is very adamantly saying, yeah, disease and illness and symptoms, they're getting away from the natural flow. You need to restore the natural balance with this diet, this supplement, this herb. Like, holy shit, wait, what? Of course you're terrified of your bodies. Of fucking course. That's the point. That's why it's set up that way. When? If you want to be afraid of you, go into that world. It guarantees that. So that's what can't happen. Now, fear is going to be here. Fear of loud noises, fear of dark shadows, fear of falling. Okay. Fear of when a symptom of healing shows up, not one fucking ounce of you is afraid of it. Not 1 ounce of you is like, oh God, I gotta stop this. Never, ever, ever will you ever be afraid of your body's responses to your life. What you will be afraid of, which is fucking awesome, is when you see symptom, because you're not changing your life to fix your symptom, because that's just like that other world over there, and that doesn't go any further than just mitigating the symptom comes back, and then you just keep trying to parcel yourself together like Humpty Dumpty, balance beam of all the shit that you're doing, all the stuff to live healthfully. You're looking at a symptom and going, oh shit, what do I need to change? What does my body want me to see? Not what does it want me to see so I can fix this. But you're not afraid of the response. You're not looking at it going, God, please don't go any further. Please, oh God. You are literally going to be afraid, which is beautiful, of the change you're going to have to make, the thing you're going to have to see, the job you're going to have to leave, the career that no longer suits you, the person you're going to have the conversation with and possibly leave, the state you might have to leave, the house you might have to sell, the practitioners you might have to abandon, the way of life that you're going to have to leave. That's scary. Of course it is. It's supposed to be. No different than a musician who's practiced millions of hours, an athlete who's practiced millions of hours, and they're going to a game. Every single one of them is terrified of game night, terrified of performance night. That's beautiful. Rocky said it in one of the things, like he asked the champ in the last one, are you afraid at all? He's like, nah, I don't get afraid. Well, and Rocky's like, shit, I think we do our best when we're a little bit afraid. And it was a beautiful line because it is natural, it is healthy, it is supposed to be there, just like grief and depression and loneliness and shame and guilt. That's all supposed to be there, like all the other stuff that everyone's telling you to trick your mind into so you don't ever experience fear. So one aspect of fear that can never be here, fearing your body's processes. Not fucking ever. And I mean even in emergencies. Because emergencies take a whole new spin when you start living this way. Not how medicines have you living it, but living how your body heals and doing what's necessary within the rules. Carving poetry in granite. Your poetry, your granite, we all have to abide by it, but it's your version. When you start living that way, a lot of things that were once an emergency are now laughable. They're not even a big deal. And then the true emergencies, you know clear-headed going into them what you're going to do. Or in it, when you're thrown into it, you know exactly what you're going to have to do, but not one part of you is afraid of your body's responses in the emergency state. You're now afraid of, shit, how am I going to find my phone? Shit, how am I going to tell the family? Shit, how am I going to go here? Oh, God, how am I going to, this bill is going to be fucking off the chart. Those are natural states of, yeah, fuck yeah. But you need this non-feared state of body to go into those and do the work necessary. But when we're afraid of our body and afraid of changes and afraid of what the world is doing, goddamn, you can't take a fucking step without being paralyzed. And part of what perpetuates this fear outside of this, and this leads me to my next point, is, when you do the work on all the little things, when you do the work and live this way, when you go ahead and observe all the different proofs in your life of why the body is for you and not ever against you, and when you start to see those all the time, fear can't be here. It's either love or fear. It's not both. Fear just dissolves. It just goes away. And then you're like, oh, okay, wow, this is a great place to be. You're not ever not symptomatic, because that's bullshit. You don't live a way to not have symptoms or not have injuries. Healthy people have symptoms. That's the fucking point. Sustained, because you're sitting around doing nothing about positive thinking, and they're here, and you're saying the body heals, and you're doing jack shit about it? No, that's not it at all. So, again, doing all the little things and then encountering every little, so does it have to be a torn ACL for you to treat your body as an injury? No, there's stages of it. Does it have to be a big cyst or tumor or skin response to have it be a healing response that's so great that you have to? No, there's so many grades leading up to those. That's where you earn the ability to live in a state where fear can't be here. It's no different than the musician practicing and the athlete practicing. They do it so much so that when that natural state of fear comes just by the newness of the presentation or the newness of the performance, then when they're in it, they're not sitting there paralyzed by fear as they're trying to perform. It's gone. Why? Because they've done so much work and live in a way that it's so clear it can't be here. And then moving forward in life, no matter what's going on with the world, no matter what the world chooses to do, or what your little clan chooses to do, or what your family chooses to do, or what society or the government or schools or churches or the systems, the finances, the housing market, all the shit that all you people are experts on, and being an expert on it doesn't do anything but increase fear. So that's another thing on how much information you need. If it's completely debilitating you, I don't think it's worth knowing what you claim to think you need to know. But when the world is going all over where it's going to go, how it's gone many times over in the past, and it's still here somehow, you don't fear what's coming. You don't fear the possibility of this. You don't fear what this group could do. You don't fear where this could happen, or God, what if everything went to shit? You're like, fucking, let's go. Not one part of you is afraid of what the possibility of future will be, because you're so certain of you within yourself, of this body that can unconditionally loves you, and you unconditionally will do everything for it in the face of everything else going on. It's a great place to move forward, man, especially in a world where everybody's wanting to talk about all the possibility of all the things that might be happening. And everyone's like, do you not worry about it? Do you not? It couldn't even crack through, because I live in a way that would just never make sense to scare me. It would never make sense to draw that response from me. I've got other natural places where fear totally exists, and I'm very aware of it. But the future of world and society and all the stories and all the stuff and all the things that could happen, oh God, no, absolutely not. Am I even close? That's not even remotely a concern. Oh, well, it's because you don't have kids, you don't have businesses that are this, you don't have, and if I did, it'd still be the same way, because they'd be living the same motherfucking way, because they'd be observing how I'm living. That's the thing, because they'd be sensing every inch of every thought, of every belief, of every value, of every way I live, that they could just live the same way, with the same principles, same values, carving their poetry into their granite. But it's granite that we all are sitting here with. So, you want to dissolve fear? One, you got to start with the body only heals, and you have to prove to yourself all throughout the day, not only when symptoms are present. That's a little tougher if you've got nothing to start with, okay? Then when symptoms are present, body only heals then. But give yourself the proof every single day. Give yourself the proof after training and destroying muscle rebounds. You guarantee healing's going to happen after training. You guarantee healing's going to happen with a cut. You guarantee your food's going to turn into shit and body. You guarantee you're going to wake up to take a pee. You guarantee you're going to exhale a breath. You guarantee. Those things would kill you if your body didn't do it. It's healing. So there's proof all over the place. Okay, that's one. Now, every symptom opportunity you have to change your life and use the symptoms as the marker to change, not change to reduce the symptom, that's another practice session. That's another book. That's another podcast. Truly. Now you're gaining more and more ground. Oh, hell yeah. Then an emergency happens, and you've been doing this for so long, now you know straight up, like a laser, exactly what you're going to do in the emergency. Or there's like 99 emergencies that roll off your shoulder because they don't make any sense. They're not emergencies. But 2 years ago, they would have been to how you were living and what you believed. And then all of a sudden, you're sitting around looking at life without fear being the driver and the paralyzer. And it's like, oh my God, look at all that I have access to. Look at all that I get to taste. Look at all that I get to experience. Look at all that I get to feel and receive, when I'm not like sitting in this, holy shit, now what? And then no matter what the world does moving forward, it won't make one bit of difference, because you will only look within you to put yourself in a position to be able to adapt to whatever the fuck the stimulus is. And that is the design. Not anticipating every variable option that you could possibly research, preparing your body for every variable option to prevent injury, disease, illness, poverty, imprisonment, you know, whatever the fuck everything else is scaring everybody else about. And it just doesn't sit. Fear just can't be here. So it just dissolves. And it's not this bullshit of rewiring your mind to, yeah, we need to learn to not fear our bodies. Like, oh, I don't give a flaming shit. Positive thinking and mind, and warping your mind and so that fear, you can trick yourself into being this positive person all the time, and this, oh no, like, no, fear is very real, but where it sits has to be an entire shift of your body, not just changing your mindset and changing your thoughts. Way deeper into the practicality of it, but it's carving poetry in granite. When you do, fear dissolves. That's the truth.